Hey there guys, hope today's going well. My name is Rodor and welcome back to beamng. Escape the Flood once again with 5 more vehicles today. I've kind of gone a bit more sensible and fast on these choices. Next time I think I'm going to do bigger and slower, so we'll actually dial back the flood speed, but we'll get to that when we get to that in the next one, because I've got some choices. I've also got some fun mods that we could check out, or at least one, for trying to escape. But again, that'll be for another thing later on. So, but I wanted to do the flood again today, and then I'm thinking maybe the next beam video I'll try something a little different, and then we'll come back to the flood because I've got some ideas for the flood, but I don't want to just only do the flood. I want to try some other stuff. So with that said, we're gonna hop into the flood again today. The modern ETK, gone for the coupe version, and same as last time, we will stick with the speed of 2. I'm thinking for the next one, if we do the big vehicles, like I said, we'll definitely go a little slower, but we do have a lineup of 5 cars, just like we did last time. Alright, and we're off. So we're gonna try and outrun the flood. I've got some things visible on the bottom of the screen this time that weren't there last time. I've just been experimenting with some stuff for a better experience of the game, and this way you guys can also kind of see what's going on internally with the car a little bit differently. You can see where the G-forces are, you can see the oversteer, the understeer, and also how hot those brake discs are actually getting as we are trying to outrun this, and I have to power through certain turns and hard brake into others. Now it has been a bit since I was last on this map, so hopefully everything goes according to plan. I don't entirely remember everything, but I think I know enough, and just as I did last time, I will cut through this. Any points where I'm not talking or nothing overly needed is happening. Okay, go, 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 go. That was bad. That was not good for me. I am very quiet to myself. I don't know if I can actually get under here and just turn that down a bit so that way I can hear myself and make sure that my audio is coming through clear and that no words are getting missed, like was happening last time with some words being cut out, but you guys probably wouldn't notice because I think I cut most of it out. The car feels a little loose on the one end. I don't know if it's how well it's visible on the video, but the front driver's side of the car seems like it's lowered. I don't think I've hit anything. I will pause the simulation in a second and look, though. Okay, we're gonna pause the simulation right there, just so I can kind of see, is the bodywork loose or something? Because it feels, I don't know, something feels off about the front panel there. It feels like it's pulling into the road on that side. Maybe this car's a mod. I don't always know what is it. That's bad. That's bad. I shouldn't do that. Suspension is still very stiff up front. I see that the front bumper is loose now. We might lose it here in a moment, but that's fine if we do. Not terrible if we don't. Yeah, it's pulling now. I shouldn't have hit that hole. But regardless, we're going to continue on, pressing forward as best we can. I'm not sure why those rear brakes are so hot. Well, I mean, I am. It's rear-wheel drive, I guess. That's the only thing I could expect for them to be so hot like that. We do have our traction control off, so that way we will not be getting interfered with by stupid computers trying to take control if I start to lose it. But we are still holding pretty strong on the road, so hopefully all goes well. Really gotta stop hitting those. That's not good for the car. I cannot make that. That is just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna try and get around it here. It's not wanting to turn. This car has speed, but it's losing control. I think this might be a mod, given how the camera's broken there. I'm not sure what is and isn't a mod at this point. Maybe the wagon version isn't the mod. I mean, it should handle the same, for the most part. So I'm not going to be too worried about it. Okay, we're coming up on... We're nearing where I lost control of the Pessima and the last one. We're still holding pretty good ground on the water, but I don't know how good we're... Ooh, that's a hole. Ooh, we just glazed over it. Okay, we're good. All is fine, though. The car definitely feels very weird. It doesn't translate very well in video, I'm sure, but it's very stiff. It's wobbling, and yeah, I don't know. It's very stiff feeling. I don't think it translates very well on video, but if it translates, well, then you understand why this might be a little weird. Here, I believe, is where I lost the Pessima, the red one, the red Pessima, the one that made it the furthest on video. So I think we're finally gonna have a new checkpoint here at the gas station. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, it's rear-wheel drive. And... No. Hydrolocked. Okay, so our checkpoint is just past the gas station, so I'm gonna get this thing to roll backwards into the gas station then. It is still mostly intact. By mostly I do mean like almost entirely. It's a little loose up here, but everything otherwise seems to be fine. The suspension looks okay, surprisingly. So we will leave this car here. Up next we have the Hirochi Sunburst. So this car is all-wheel drive, and I do believe it is our... It's not our only all-wheel drive in this lineup. We do have a SUV back there, which you might have seen. Anyway, okay, so now we're just gonna try and see how far the Sunburst can make it. I've never had a good experience in this car. It was the first modern-esque car to be added to beamng. If you didn't know that, there's a little piece of history for you. I'm not too familiar with the history of beamng. I have been playing it for a very long time. I've picked it up before the Sunburst. I don't remember the exact order in which all the cars were released, but it is nice to see newer, more modern cars being added, and this was the first. This was like the thing that made me really start wanting to play more beamng whenever they started adding more modern cars, and then after that it was a lot of classic stuff for a while. But the thing I want, and I know it's going to sound real surprising coming from me, would like a more modern pickup truck to be added to beamng. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Gavril. It could be Hirochi or a Bishu. Just like something more modern of a pickup with electrics on the inside rather than the late 90s Chevy look. And I know that they did a facelift, but they didn't actually change the interiors very much to be modernized on the facelifted ones. But that's just my personal preference there. I like pickup trucks, and I would like to have a modern pickup truck in this game because I just would. There's also not a whole lot of good pickup truck mods, and the ones that are, they're not modern, they're all old, and that's fine. There's a lot of fun to be had with classic pickup trucks, but there's also a lot of fun to be had with modern ones. I see I forgot to turn off the ECS on this car, so that's my bad. This car is definitely pulling front wheel primary. As you can see there on the brake temperatures, the front wheels are hotter than the rear, even though they are both getting warm. The rear wheels aren't getting as warm because they're not putting as much power down, I would assume. It was quite the opposite on the ETK. I need to remember to turn the lights on, damn it. They're part of the thumbnail. Okay, we made it through that. We somehow dislodged the door. But we made it through that turn pretty smooth, if I say so myself. And I do. But we're going to continue powering forward. I gotta be careful. I will... This is the type of car that will just throw itself off the cliffside if I'm not careful. Okay, we're to the bridge. How good is our gain on the water? I honestly can't tell from personal recollection, but I think we're about average on our water gain there. Oh, that's bad. This is bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's not healthy for the car. It wasn't intentional to go through those holes, but spices it up a little bit. Because I'm getting way too professional at going up this mountain, and I'm losing things to talk about. But yeah, we're coming up on the place where I lost the older Pessima Ute. I might pull out the not during this video obviously, but I might give the standard old Pessima a try just to see how the handling feels. If it feels the same as that Ute, because that Ute was very stiff, very similar to that ETK I was just driving. Whereas this feels very light and free floating. Oh, that was a lot of speed loss. Nope, 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 nope. No, that's it. It's off the side. Surprised it still drives as decent as it does after that. But right there. That's as far as it made it. Up next we have the Solead Windover, which is very reminiscent of the Oldsmobile Cutlass. One of my friends had one, and it had a dash very similar to this. I'm not saying that that is exactly what it's inspired by, but that's just what it reminds me of personally. Theirs was not yellow, it was blue, but we already had a blue car in this lineup, so I thought we would change it up a little bit here with the yellow. And we're off. Now this is an older car. It doesn't have any traction control. It's not too heavy on the electronics. And I'm not sure if it's front or wheel drive. I think it's front wheel drive if I'm not mistaken, given that it is a an American coupe. At least I think it's American. It could be not, but it's would have been very popular in the States in the early to late 90s. Did kind of want to take a moment here just to say on the wheel. I said I would do a challenge with the, try to do some of these with the wheel. Do it with the best car that I've ran in personally, and I still plan on doing that. I've been trying to fine-tune the wheel for control in the game because it gets a little squirrely sometimes, gets a little loose and gets away from me, and in doing that I've made it worse. I have significantly less control, so it'll be a little bit longer before I can comfortably do the challenge. I'll probably do it anyway at some point. But I want to get the wheel tuned in to the best I can, so that way I have proper control. Oh boy. I wasn't paying attention. That could be detrimental to the run there. We do sound like we struggle a bit going up the hills, but we're fine so far. We're just going to continue on. Our suspension seems okay, it feels fine, it doesn't feel like we're pulling too hard to either direction if we are pulling at all. Give a little interior view here. As we drive, we got a broken windshield, and our doors have been dislodged. Looks like our front bumper's a little busted there, so if that doesn't come off when we make it to the dirt, because I'm sure we'll make it over the bridge. But the dirt's before the bridge, so we're coming up on the hole, then it's the dirt, then it's the bridge. But if this car doesn't make it, I will take blame for it. I did, as last time, I chose decent variants of each car. I didn't choose the best, I didn't choose the worst. I chose decent variants with a higher top speed, trying to keep it around between 120 and 140. And all of these cars are around 120 something in the top end, but not like we'll ever really see it as we're running up the mountain here, trying to outrun the flood. Thankfully, even though this is an older muscle sedan, or a muscle coupe sports thingy, We don't seem to be overheating, but we might have just messed up our turning there. It's going to struggle pulling up this hill. Our turning feels okay. It doesn't feel like we're pulling. Normally if we touch that wall, we always mess up our steering, so that's good. We didn't do it that time. I'm riding real close to the edge there. Playing it real risky. Oh boy. Okay, well we still have a front bumper. That's good. I'm not going to try for the shortcut, even though this is one of the cars I feel more comfortable driving in this game. The shortcut's just way too risky. And it does... This car can easily lose control like a normal muscle car, even though it's front-wheel drive, if you take your brakes too hard, but any car can, really. But this one, for me at least, has had a tendency to spin out like the muscle cars do. But thankfully, so far in this run, that hasn't happened yet. We're going to try and ride the middle. Oh, that's a bad idea. And... hydrolocked. Fantastic. Oh, they all have, well, maybe not all of them, but they have a very interesting way of opening their hood. Okay, I'm going to leave this one here on the side of the road like that, and we'll go grab our next car. Alright, up next we have the Ibishu Hopper. I'm not very confident that this one will make it very far. It is a, it's not even all-wheel drive, I don't think. We're in 2 high. Do we have a 4 high? We do, so we can go into 4-wheel drive. We will go 4-wheel drive for the sake of pulling power, I think. Well, you know what? No. No. We'll go into 4 high if we need it. We're going to give it a shot to run up this mountain without it. But if we start to feel like we're losing control, we'll go into 4-wheel drive. That way we just have that pull on the front end. So, with that said, now this is the only SUV running anytime today. Well, obviously. I don't know what I'm saying. I know that this is an SUV and not a car, and I wasn't intending on doing any like trucks, SUVs, or vans in this one. But I'm not very big on the Hopper. It's not a particular favorite or hate of mine. I never use it, never really think about it. To me, it's a nice vehicle, but it's kind of boring. So I decided I would just throw it in here as a little bit of an oddball alongside these cars today, and just see maybe how it stacks up against cars, some decently fast cars at that. Comparatively, it does have the top end on speed to be able to keep up. It can do about 127 miles per hour. I don't know what that is in kilometers. It's probably something like I don't know, 180 kilometer, 200. I don't know. I'm very bad when it comes to kilometers. I will stick with my freedom units when it comes to speed. But I will agree with most people that Celsius is the better measurement for temperature. It just makes more sense, and I am trying to learn it. Oh boy, I'm going to hit the hole because I wasn't looking at the game. Come on. Tip over. You gotta go. If the cars tip, I don't mind giving them the flip over. If they go off the side, that's a different story. It's zippy. I will give the Hopper that. It is very fast. We are in rear-wheel drive currently, and we are holding our own against the water currently, but I don't think it'll be that way for much longer because we're about to go down, and then we have to go up, and then we have to go flat. So if we can make it to the bridge, I will be impressed after that rollover, which was my fault. That was my fault. That wasn't the fault of the car. That was just bad driving on my part for not paying attention and deciding to look up at the camera to talk like I'm doing right now, which probably isn't very helpful. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it across the bridge. And if it does, it's not making the hill. Nothing ever makes the hill. and with decent speed. Nope. It made it as far as the Scout did. The Scout was admittedly slow, and this one just suffered from having me as a driver who wasn't paying attention. Alright, and last today we have the Abishu Signia. This is a paid mod. If I remember, after the editing and everything, I will try to link to it in the description if you want to check this one out for yourself. This is a very nice mod. It's based on an older Skyline. It's got American and Japanese models where, you know, your steering wheel's left hand, right hand. This is an American version, automatic for the sake of the video, even though the Sunburst was not automatic. That was manual. That was my bad. I wasn't paying attention. Regardless, this is a very neat mod. So it's a little over $3 US to pick it up. It's very well done, very well modeled, but enough gawking over the model. Let's run from the flood. Alright, this is our last run today. This thing feels slower than it did when I was testing it. Oh boy. You're not going to make it very far, are you, little car? I might have to pick a different variant. I think I will have to pick a different variant. You're so slow. Well, this was my doing. This was my choice. Oh my god. Maybe I won't have to pick a different variant if it can just stay right in front of the water the entire time. Ah, no, it's about to catch it. There's no way it doesn't catch it right here as we level out. Nah, it's caught it. So it made it just to the bridge. I will pick a different variant, see if it's any faster, and if it's not, then this is its resting space. But real quick, this is a slightly newer version of the car, I would say. Maybe it's just a different, no, it's not. It is the American version, which is what I was trying to stick with, which is why I chose the one that I did without paying attention to its speed. That was my bad. So now, and just one little thing I thought I'd point out about the model. It does have a, obviously you've got a gauge, working things like you do in most cars in BeamNG, but even the little compass, and I believe even the clock, they work. I can't say for certain on the clock, I've not actually looked, but the compass does work, just as a little point out there. Anyway, shall we run from the flood? This one has a higher top speed. It does still feel a little sluggish, but this one feels more like a... This one feels more sporty, whereas the other one felt very, very basic, like the type of thing you just pick up as you've got to have a car to go, and it looks nice, it looks very fancy, but it's not actually, and it only costs you, I don't know, what would it have been back then, like maybe 18? I don't know how much cars used to cost back when these would have been on the road, but I assume it was probably close to that number I said. So this one is definitely going a lot faster here, significantly so. We seem to be having a decent ground. However, as you can see both on the gauge and in the little heat map, we are getting real warm, so it's suffering a very similar fate to the muscle car and the wagon, where it's suffering with heat because the radiator can't keep up. Oh, come on, go into reverse. Go into drive. Well, that did it in. Yep, that did it in right there. Oh, wait, maybe not. Maybe it can go a little further with its overheating engine. which is about to start losing power and essentially just give out completely. Water is right behind us, but I don't think it's going to make it much further. Oh, it's getting loose, it's getting loose. Oh, it's getting loose, this is it. Nope, that's it. So the furthest vehicle to make it today was the ETK. It made it just past the gas station, but due to my ineptitude, I lost control here and then couldn't make it much further. Then not far behind it, we have the Hirochi Sunburst, which made it to the corner that I usually go off on, and I was expecting to go off with the ETK, and, well, it's seen better days. That wheel is quite jammed. Then a significant chunk of road earlier, we have the Solead Wendover, which I believe was just caught by the water. However, that could have been user error, as I did hit quite a few holes with it, and it does show, given the body damage left over. Then even further back, also caused by probably just inept driving, we have the Abishu Hopper, which was caught by the water just after crossing the bridge, just like the Gavril Scout was, but it made it a decent way, especially when compared up against the cars of today. And then not too far behind the Hopper, we have the Signia, which made it quite decent, but its engine kind of started to fail with the radiator giving out, and I stopped paying attention to the road for a second and made it much worse. But it did a decent portion, so some of these cars we might see again trying to make this run, because I think some of them deserve a second chance, given my bad driving. Regardless, though, that's going to do it for this one. So thank you everybody so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like down below. Let me know what cars you want to see try to escape the flood. I've got some plans for the next one, and let me know what kind of cars... And let me know what cars you would like to see driven to death. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like down below. And until next time, I'll see you in whatever comes next. Bye!